Hi guys! You all know that TV is kind of a massive part of my life, and so I thought that these top 10 TV shows would say quite a lot about me. So I spent a lot of time trying to compile this list and make sure that the right shows were on it. I'm sure there are things I've forgotten and I'll kick myself for later, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty much there. I didn't really know how to rank it from 10 up to 1, so it's not really strictly ranked, but what I have done is I've got my top 5 and then 5 that I love but aren't quite in that top area. So in at number 10, but could have been pretty much anywhere from 6 to 10, is Brothers and Sisters. And this isn't actually a show that I rewatch much / at all, but I do want to do a massive series rewatch of it soon because I just absolutely loved it. There's family relationships are just so accurate, the characterization is so great, and it's just a show that made me laugh and then cry. And in at number 9 is a real toss-up between Glee and The OC, but I've stuck with Glee because The OC was short-lived, and I think I'm going to say that Glee at least had 3 good seasons before it all went to shit, and we'll see what happens in season 5, so maybe I'm just giving Glee the benefit of the doubt. I'm just very kind like that. And then I've got Modern Family, because it's amazing. Angel, but I'll talk about Buffy later. Spoilers! So you get more about that one. And then at number 6, which really narrowly missed the top 5, is Gilmore Girls. If you've seen it, you know why, probably. It's just so fast and funny, and the characters are all amazing, except for Dean. Okay, the big 5. At number 5, got Parks and Rec. I've been watching the show only for a couple of years, but it's just so funny, and anyone who's been in the room with me as I watch it knows that I just kind of piss myself every week. Every single character is genius. It's just so quirky and so funny, and they're also lovable, so even when it's absolutely ridiculous, you love them. Ron Swanson is like... Ron Swanson, there are no words. Ben and Leslie, Ben Wyatt is an angel, and Ben and Leslie are adorable. I see little bits of a lot of the characters in myself. If I'm in my people-hating mood, I can be quite a Ron Swanson. I think when I'm just acting like an idiot, I can be quite Tom-ish. It's just good, fun, funny TV, and I don't know why it hasn't had more recognition from awards and stuff. I don't know why Nick Offerman has never been nominated for an Emmy. I don't know why Amy Poehler hasn't won. Number 4, another comedy in Friends. If you watch the first season now, almost 20 years on from when it came out, it's just still just as funny. It's just the characterization, and the fact that you can say, oh, it's like that Friends episode, and anyone will know what you're talking about. That's just the mark of it's such a great TV show. So I was watching an episode with Mum the other day, and it was one that we had obviously both seen but hadn't seen for a while, not one of the ones that we watch over and over and over again. And there's a bit where both of us are expecting an obvious joke, and they did just not quite the obvious joke, and it just makes it so much funnier. And 10 seasons, and sure, some areas were a bit rocky, like Rachel and Joey, but still. And it's also the first show that I really remember looking up spoilers for in magazines with Sarah, and it's just amazing. The fact that the series finale was such a big event is just a testament to what a great show it is. Number 3, I've gone for One Tree Hill. I talked about this a bit in my Obsessions video, but the first 4 seasons I really do think are just great TV. When I graduated from school, they graduated from high school. I feel like they grew up with me, which is, you know, maybe cheesy. It's a ridiculously cheesy show at sometimes, and it went on a bit long, and some of the storylines were ridiculous, especially in the last season. It turned into a complete soap opera, but I still loved it. It was clever writing. A teen show with clever writing, you can't go wrong. So it's dumb, but also, you know, I managed to seem a lot cleverer in my teenage years from quoting things I'd heard in One Tree Hill. So it did me well. Number 2, I've gone for Queer as Folk. First watched it 4 or 5 years ago now, and at least once a year I just have to watch it all again, or at least watch Brian and Justin stuff all over again. There's something about it that just makes me connect with characters. It makes me feel so much pain, but also so much happiness at some points, mostly pain. Again, there are aspects that I would change to make it a perfect show, but I love it. Just an emotional drain sometimes, but often I need to watch a show that will just drain me emotionally, and I know that there are a lot of episodes of Queer as Folk that will do that, and so they're quite often my go-to sad things. Some One Tree Hill ones too, and also Buffy in the same way. In at number 1, Buffy is funny, it's sad, it's witty, I feel like everyone always says such things about Joss Whedon and his genius that I don't really need to go into it. But just the way he paints characters and the fact that even now there's not really a Buffy in the world. You'd think that we've come so far in having women in certain roles, but still there's this overwhelming thing that man is the lead strength in a series. Even if you look at the Avengers, which is one of the highest grossing films, it's superhero, blah blah blah, there's one female superhero and one female agent, I guess. And Stan Lee said just the other day that he doesn't think there's a necessity to have a female superhero movie. I love Stan Lee, but come on, mate. It's not even that, it's that it's funny, and the characterization, I mean, Spike, you all know how much I love Spike. And Willow, the layers there, even characters you don't like, they're interesting, and there's always a certain dynamic about the group. And that's the same with Angel, which I mentioned in my lower half of my top 10. Were it a standalone show, I'm sure that Angel would get so much more recognition than it does just as a spin-off of Buffy. It's so funny, it's darker in a lot of places, I think, than Buffy. There are characters in the Buffyverse that everyone reads differently, and I think that's really interesting. For example, I know that Tara's really popular, but I don't like Tara. Same with Xander. And Connor in Angel, it's just amazing. I don't like Connor, but he's just such an interesting character, and I really actually like him by the end. And Wes, just all the way, if Wes's arc, character arc, story arcs in Buffy, it's just everything is so well thought out. Joss Whedon was such a genius, and he left us with such a great TV show. And that's my top 10 TV shows. I don't think any of them were a big surprise to anyone. I'm surprised that I went with Glee rather than the OC, maybe? The TV shows that are my favourite are the ones that I really connect with characters for. So even though some of the shows that obviously that I watch every week and I'm like, man, that's such a great show, they're not in my list of favourites. I'd say like The Good Wife, Homeland, Game of Thrones. And I connect with the characters, but these 10, I think, the reason they make it into the top 10 is because there are characters there that I just really connect with. Maybe Modern Family is the exception. The characters are all hilarious, but I feel like it's not as much of a character draw as much as just hilarious. But I do cry. I cry a lot in Modern Family. The end of last season, I was weeping. I do cry pretty much probably every season finale. Whenever they do the voiceover about family, I cry. I'm a weeper. So yeah, I'm a very character-driven person when it comes to TV shows that I love. But till next week, bye!